Alright, welcome back everybody. If you follow tennis at all, even casually, you already know that something extraordinary just went down in the California desert. Something that goes way beyond a standard player interview. Over the last 24 hours, the grounds of Indian Wells have essentially become the backdrop of a cultural moment. And if you somehow missed it, don't worry, that's exactly why we're here. Because what happened wasn't just a viral clip. It was a signal. A loud, unmistakable signal that the world of professional tennis has a new force to contend with. Her name is Alexandra Eala. She's 20 years old. She's from the Philippines. And right now, she is absolutely everywhere. The interview that broke the internet was filmed by two of the most trusted names in Filipino sports media, TJ Manotoc and Steve Angeles of ABS-CBN. These aren't your typical sideline reporters scrambling for a quick soundbite between sets. These are journalists who've spent careers earning the trust of Filipino athletes, understanding the weight those athletes carry, and translating that weight for audiences back home. When they got Alex on camera, they didn't just get a press conference answer. They got the real thing. And the world responded accordingly. But before we get into the interview itself, we need to talk about where Alexandra Eala stands right now, because the context is everything. Indian Wells. The BNP Paribas Open. Call it what you want. Most people in tennis just call it the fifth Grand Slam. That's not hyperbole, that's the reality of what this tournament represents. The best players on the planet fly in from every corner of the world to compete in the Coachella Valley, where the desert heat is relentless, the courts play slow and high, and the competition is absolutely cutthroat. This is not a place where you show up hoping to make a statement. This is a place where statements are either earned or taken from you. Alexandra Eala earned hers. Coming in ranked world number 31, a career high, she became the first Filipino tennis player in history to secure a seeded position at a WTA 1000 event. That means she walked into the draw with a first-round bye. No scrambling through early rounds, no burning matches trying to survive day one. She came in with the status of a player who belongs at this level, because she does. Now think about what that actually means. For decades, Filipino athletes in individual global sports have had to fight just to be acknowledged. They've had to outperform expectations before even being given a seat at the table. Alex didn't just get a seat. She got a reserved one. And then came practice day on court 6. Chris Otto, writing for the tournament's own official website, described the scene with visible disbelief. During Eala's practice session, not a match, a practice session, fans flooded the area in numbers that had groundskeepers and tournament staff looking at each other in genuine confusion. Her name was being chanted. People were pressed against fences trying to catch a glimpse of her crossing the players' lawn. Otto called her one of tennis' most delightfully unkempt secrets, and said plainly that what he was witnessing was a new reality. He wasn't exaggerating. He was just being honest. That's the ELA effect. And if you think it's hype, keep watching. This is where TJ Manotoc and Steve Angeles stepped in. The California sun was blazing. Fans were everywhere. And in the middle of it all, this 20-year-old sat down and spoke with the kind of calm that honestly should be impossible at her age. The poise alone was enough to make people stop scrolling. But it was what she said, and how she said it, that sent the clip into a completely different stratosphere. She talked about her season, about what she's learned, about going deep in Dubai against one of the best players in the world and walking away not with excuses, but with clarity. After pushing to the quarterfinals of the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, where she eventually fell to world number 4 Coco Gauff, she didn't sulk. She studied. In her own words, the atmosphere had been amazing, it was a different start to the year than any she'd had before, and she was taking away a lot of positives. That's not the kind of answer you coach someone to give. That's the kind of thing that comes out when a player genuinely understands where they are and where they're going. Let's pause on the Dubai loss for a second, because it matters tactically. Gauff used her athleticism and raw power to disrupt Eala's rhythm, the kind of pressure that exposes physical or mental gaps in any player's game. Alex has neither gap. What Gauff was able to do in Dubai, she was only able to do because she's one of the 4 best players alive right now. Any other player attempting that same formula faces a very different problem. Now let's talk about what comes next. With her bye already secured, Alex steps directly into the second round at Indian Wells, where she'll face the winner of a match between China's Zheng Shuai and Ukraine's Diana Yastremska. Neither one is a gift. Zheng Shuai is a tactician. She reads angles, redirects pace, and takes the ball early. Against her, Alex will need to use the weight of her ground strokes to keep Zheng pinned behind the baseline. If she lets Zheng cut off angles, rallies get messy fast. The good news? Alex's improved serve, visibly sharper this season, should earn her free points early and prevent the kind of prolonged grind that favors a player like Zheng. Yastremska is a different kind of problem entirely. She generates massive flat pace off both wings and wants to seize control of rallies from ball one. Here's where Alex's left-handedness becomes a genuine weapon. The natural side spin off her forehand pulls right-handed players wide to their backhand side, which opens up the court in ways that flat ball strikers struggle to neutralize. Add in the slow, high-bouncing Indian Wells hard-court surface, and that topspin gets even more vicious. The ball kicks up out of the strike zone of hitters who want to take it low and flat. Yastremska would have to work extra hard just to maintain pace. And in the desert heat, that physical toll stacks up fast. Alex has clearly been calibrating. She spent time on court 2 practicing with Madison Keys, a top 15 player who brings exactly the kind of power she'll face in this draw. She also logged work alongside Romania's Jacqueline Christian. The preparation is deliberate. Nothing about this run is accidental. And that brings us back to the interview. Because the interview isn't separate from the performance. It is the performance in another arena. When TJ and Steve sat her down in front of that surging crowd, they were doing something that mainstream tennis media rarely manages. They were providing real cultural context. When a European or American player gets roaring crowd support, the broadcast team calls it home court advantage and moves on. When Alexandra Eala gets it, from a Filipino diaspora spread across every continent, it shocks tournament directors and lands on the official website as a news story in its own right. Manotoc and Angeles understood what they were capturing. They weren't just asking about her backhand. They were asking about belonging, about sacrifice, about leaving home at a young age to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain. The clay courts, the solitude, the grinding daily work thousands of miles from family. When Alex answered, she wasn't performing. She was sharing. And that authenticity hit differently. People can feel the difference between an athlete giving a media answer and an athlete telling the truth. She was telling the truth. The psychological dimension of all this cannot be understated. Word travels in the WTA locker room. Every player in this draw has seen the clips by now. They've seen the practice session footage. They know the crowd she draws. And that asymmetry, where your opponent is already surrounded by noise and belief before the first ball is struck, that's a kind of pressure that rankings don't capture but players absolutely feel. Her physical development backs all of it up. You can see it clearly when she moves. Her core strength has increased, which means more rotational power on that already dangerous forehand. Her footwork has become explosive in a new way. The transition from deep defensive retrieval to aggressive offense has gotten shorter and faster. She is not just surviving long rallies at this level, she is designed to win them. And beyond the court, there's a business reality here that tournament directors are waking up to in real time. Ticket sales, social engagement, merchandise interest. Alexandra Eala is a marquee attraction, and the data is going to make that impossible to ignore. The BNP Paribas Open is, at its core, a business, and she is currently one of the most compelling narratives on the grounds. As we look toward her second-round match, the anticipation is almost electric. A deep run here doesn't just improve her ranking, it changes the entire conversation about who she is and what her ceiling looks like for the rest of the 2026 season. The remaining Grand Slams, the clay swing, the grass, all of it gets reframed if she goes on a run in this desert. The viral interview with TJ and Steve wasn't a PR moment. It was a declaration. She isn't wide-eyed with gratitude just to be here. She is here with intent. She knows what she's capable of, she knows the crowd has her back, and she knows the work she's put in justifies the confidence she carries onto that court. The desert is ready. The fans are absolutely ready. And if her trajectory over the last several months tells us anything, Alexandra Eala is more than ready. Let's take a breath before we close this out, because there's a lot worth sitting with. What we've witnessed over the past 24 hours is not a feel-good underdog story. It's the early chapter of something much larger. The shock rippling through Indian Wells right now isn't confusion, it's recognition. The tennis world is finally catching up to what Filipino fans have known for a while. This young woman is for real. We broke down her rise to world number 31. We analyzed the Dubai campaign, the tactical chess match ahead in the second round, and the physical and mental evolution that's made her into a genuine threat at this level. We looked at what TJ Manotoc and Steve Angelis actually accomplished with that interview, not just for the fans watching back home, but for the global narrative around Filipino athletes in individual sports. And underneath all of it is a bigger truth. Every time she steps up to the baseline, rips a cross-court forehand winner, and hears thousands of people lose their minds in response, she is quietly doing something that matters far beyond the scoreboard. She is proof that world-class talent doesn't have a passport requirement, that the sport belongs to anyone willing to put in the work to claim it. The tennis establishment was shocked because it wasn't ready for the revolution to arrive this fast or this loud. Now, I want to hear from you. What was your reaction to the viral interview? Who do you see her facing in the second round, Ving or Yastremska, and who gives her the harder test? And realistically, how deep do you think she goes in this tournament? Drop everything in the comments. Your energy genuinely helps this content reach people who need to see it. Hit like if you're riding with Alexandra Eala this fortnight, subscribe if you haven't, and turn on notifications, because this story is moving fast and I am not letting you miss a single moment.